Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today, we're making something incredibly delicious and perfect for a cozy weekend brunch or a special holiday morning. A French Toast Casserole. It has all the wonderful flavors of classic French toast, but it's way easier to make for a crowd. No more standing over a hot stove flipping individual slices. You just prep it, poppin', and for the happens a best ba, you can even prepare it the night before. So, are you ready to make the best French toast casserole of your life? Let's get started. First, let's gather our ingredients. You'll need about 1 loaf of sturdy bread. I recommend using something like a brioche, challah, or a good quality French bread. You want a bread that can soak up all that delicious custard without getting too soggy. We'll cut this into 1-inch cubes. You'll also need 8 large eggs, 2 cups of whole milk, and 1 cup of heavy cream for that extra rich and creamy texture. For our flavorings, we'll use a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. And for that irresistible crunchy topping, we'll need a 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour, a 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar, another teaspoon of cinnamon, a pinch of salt, and a 1/2 cup of cold unsalted butter cut into small pieces. The first step is preparing our bread. If you have time, it's best to use bread that's a day or too old because it's a bit drier and will absorb the custard better. Take your loaf and slice it, then cut those slices into 1-inch cubes. Don't worry about them being perfect. Rustique good. Once you have all your bread cubed, spread it evenly in a greased 9 by 13-inch baking dish. Just give the dish a quick spray with nonstick cooking spray or a light coating of butter. Now, set that aside for a moment. Next, we'll make the heart of our casserole, the custard. In a large bowl, crack your 8 eggs. Whisk them together until the yolks and whites are well combined, just for about 30 seconds. Now, pour in your 2 cups of milk, 1 cup of heavy cream, a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and that 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Whisk everything together until it's smooth and all the sugar has dissolved. You want a nice, uniform liquid. The aroma alone is already amazing, right? Now it's time to bring the bread and custard together. Slowly and evenly pour the custard mixture all over the bread cubes in the baking dish. Make sure every piece of bread gets some of that custard goodness. You might need to gently press down on the bread with a spatula to help it soak up the liquid. We want all of that bread to be submerged and saturated. Once you've done that, cover the dish with plastic wrap or foil. This is where you have a choice. If you want to bake it right away, let it sit on the counter for at least 30 minutes to an hour to give the bread time to absorb the custard. But for the absolute best results, I highly recommend letting it rest overnight in the refrigerator. This allows the bread to fully soak up all the flavors, resulting in a much richer and more custardy casserole. So, if you're planning for a brunch, just pop it in the fridge the night before, and your morning will be so much easier. Okay, whether you've waited an hour or overnight, it's almost time to bake. First, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius. While the oven is heating up, let's make our delicious streusel topping. This is what's going to give our casserole that amazing crunchy, sweet crust. In a medium bowl, combine the 1/2 cup of flour, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and a small pinch of salt. Whisk those dry ingredients together. Now, add your 1/2 cup of cold, cubed butter. Using your fingertips, a pastry blender, or even two knives, cut the butter into the flour mixture. You want to work it until the mixture resembles coarse crumbs with some pea-sized pieces of butter still visible. Those little butter pieces will melt in the oven and create wonderful pockets of flavor and a super tender texture. Try not to overwork it or let the butter get too warm. Once your streusel topping is ready, take your casserole dish out of the fridge. If you chilled it overnight, let it sit at room temperature for about 20 to 30 minutes before baking. Uncover the dish and sprinkle that glorious streusel topping evenly all over the top. Don't be shy. Every inch should have some of that crunchy goodness. This topping really takes the casserole to the next level. Now, place the baking dish in your preheated oven. We're going to bake it for about 45 to 55 minutes. You'll know it's done when the top is golden brown and crispy and the center is set. A good way to check for doneness is to insert a knife into the center. It should come out clean. If the top starts too brown too quickly before the center is cooked, you can loosely cover it with a piece of aluminum foil for the last 10 to 15 minutes of baking. Once it's perfectly baked, carefully remove the casserole from the oven. Oh, just look at that! The top is beautifully golden and the whole house smells incredible. It's so tempting to dig in right away. But it's important to let it cool for at least 10 to 15 minutes before serving. This allows the casserole to set up a bit more, making it much easier to slice and serve. Now for the best part, serving. You can cut it into squares and serve it just as it is, warm from the oven. But if you want to make it extra special, the topping possibilities are endless. My personal favorite is a generous drizzle of warm maple syrup. You could also add a dollop of whipped cream, a dusting of powdered sugar, or a side of fresh berries like strawberries, blueberries, or raspberries. The combination of the warm, custardy bread, the crunchy streusel, and the fresh toppings is just heavenly. And there you have it, a show-stopping French toast casserole that's perfect for any occasion. It's so easy to make, incredibly delicious, and a guaranteed crowd pleaser. Plus, the make-ahead option is a total game changer for stress-free entertaining. Imagine waking up, popping this in the oven, and having a gourmet breakfast ready in under an hour. It's the ultimate comfort food. I really hope you give this recipe a try. It's become a staple in my home, and I'm sure it will in yours too. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more delicious recipes. I'll see you next time.